ba Gambia ñu ko fa dàq ci loo bariwut Keks jàngut loo jàngut journalism dafa am passion ci li moo def waaye xar leen ma dem ba Oxford University ca Angleterre indi fa benn aku booy bu joomal tubaab bi ci jàng xam-xam ma ñëw indi wax leen lu mu wax then after ngeen compare man Oxford laa dem because nit sooy wax loo xamut danga ne xaw ma man xaw ma loo làmmiñ bu neex rek laa am ak ñu maa jox information dama am suma place nit dangaa xam sa bopp man Cheikh Ahmed dama xam suma bopp waaye ay jéeg tàccu ma rek maay kii ne nii man laa wax suma bopp man léegi dem naa ba Oxford ma andi fa ku jàngaloo ma laaj ko moom mu binda may read Melville Robertson Roberts mu ne there is no legal system in Senegalese criminal justice delivery that caters for any prosecutor that advises judge and forms part of the bench. There's a calendar. Bàyyi naa àdduna waay Melvin a mën a bind nag laa ilaha illallah maanaam angale Melvin angale Melvin man attanuma ko bii di English is not Englishin mu ne Mel mooy wax déglu leen if Mel is talking we should listen keenly mu ne there is no legal system in Senegalese criminal justice delivery that caters for any prosecutor that advises judge and forms part of the bench mu ne amul Melvin mu ne amul de kan mooy Melvin xam ngeen ko Melvin mu ne loolu amul léegi nag Keks mi jàngut loo jàngut journalisme mu report ak Melvin mi jànga loo dégg nga fi mu tibbee mu ne lu ma mu ne in the Senegalese criminal justice kon gëstu na ba xam ñu topp mel a am jot nag càppate mu ne I have taken the liberty to consult 2 leading Senegalese criminal lawyers one of which has been practicing in Senegal for 40 odd years laay fu ma waay mënatuma live baalal leen ma dem leen ñibbi dem leen génn dem leen live bi jeex ma ne waxuma man ngeen doon seetaan waxuma because amatuma lu ma war a wax tam suñ ma ne wax lu ma what would I say lal justice lo léegi wax ma lu ma wax ma nga ni fen su def ngam min fu bu daa solo Melvin mi jàngaloo mu ne I have taken the liberty to consult 2 leading Senegalese criminal lawyers one of which has been practicing in Senegal for 40 odd years ODD la ca def anglais soo ko déggee daf dee yomba xaaral ma riidala li Keks binda suma waa ji dafa baax Keks dama ko bëgga mu ne the Gambian delegation were in celebratory mood after the adjournment. The case has just ended and the full details of the proceeding will be coming. Keks moo binda lii the English, the level of the 2 English is different. Sénégal may leen ma kaa bi bokku leen ci kaa bi muñ leen ko tey rek bàyyi leen ko Gambien yi su ma dina bàngee bay wax leen ma toxo sénégalais may leen ñu loolu rek tey duñ leen ko nàmpal may leen ñu loolu sénégalais may leen ñu loolu lii mbiru Gambie la seen yoon nekku ci lii ñu ni neen la waa Gambie la seen yoon nekku ci Melvin mu ne moom en tant que ku jàng xam ne du lu la neex wax dafa am màndute ageen sut Aisha Fatty Thiam mu def gëstu waaye bi moo gëstu moom mi jàng ba dem Gambia ba dem Oxford bokk si one of the best student ever ci der bu ñuul ñu jàngaloo mu ne doyut ko dafa laaj 2 avocat kenn ki 4 fukki at mu ngi atte ci wàllu criminal keneen ki waxul ñaata at mu laaj leen léegi lan la ñoo ñu wax gi nga xam-xam soo ko amee soo demee da nga dee programme sa wax yéen fekkewu leen Melvin bi moo xuloo jigéen ñi ku ko ci pare ba mu bindal la paragraphe sa àdduna day yàqu mu ne it is unheard of that prosecutor regardless of the nomenclature word bi tey laa ko door a dégg dima leen ba nomenclature or designation would form part of the bench and give legal advice, be it factual or circumstantial. Ku gis mel wax leen ko sëriñ bi mu ne daf la bëgg. These two words are new to my vocabulary. Ma xool word ci lan la. Nomenclature ak circumstantial. maa ngi door a dégg ñaari woot yi ci àddina mel dina ma wàcc dina ma bàyyi bisimilah Melvin dina ma bàyyi man xam naa ne dina génn ci man bi ko lii mënuma ko justice lii man mënuma ko dem leen Google de lii moom mënuma ko moom ma ne ko dinaa reyante moom laa ilaaha illallaah waa lii jàmm hello Mel.
Yeah, hi.
maa ngi live. Do you mind ma laaj la some questions please?
Me, I'm not fully dressed though. Except if it's voice.
No. Voice regular. No, voice regular, Mel. It's just voice.
So, but you're supposed to update me because I don't know what happened in the court today.
No. Duma la laaj mbiri court sax Mel may ma loolu duma la laaj mbiri court.
Okay.
Dama tesee ci internet bi nga binda yoo xam ne man suma bopp sëriñi nante dama am problème ci ñaari woot benn bi mooy nomenclature ak circumstantial loolu mooy lan Melvin.
Are you serious? That's why you called me.
Déedéet dama ko benn may ma rek yow may ma sa time rek dama laajte rek ñaari woot sa because man moom musuma koo gis nit yaa ngay dem Google ñëpp ñu ngi génn live di dem Google. I just want to let me read what you write wala wrote.
What you wrote.
Basically mooy bon dama ne yow yaa bind nga ne it is unheard of that a prosecutor regardless of the nomenclature or designation would form part of the bench and give legal advice, be it factual or circumstantial. What are you trying to say, Mel? Lan nga bëgg a wax?
So basically, what I'm trying to say is, because I saw the post on Aisha Fatty, and then after I saw arguments that people were making that in the Senegalese criminal system, you have prosecutors that advise the judges, and you have other prosecutors that decided to call it prosecuting officer.
Mm-hmm.
And what I tried to say in my post, regardless, so the nomenclature is the different words, the different things you can use to mean one thing and try to change it. So it's a term applied to something. So whether you call it a prosecutor, whether you call it a public prosecutor,
Mel, balal ma yow nekkuloo England. You are talking to the Gambian, please. Dama ketal English bi to level number 31 nga wax ak ñun. Mala ñaan loolu, please.
I'm talking simple English, dude.
No, this is not simple English.
I can't say it again except you want me to say it in Chinese.
No, I cannot take this. Lii moom duma ko mun. Dama bëgga nga xam ne ñun nga nekk doo. You're not in England. You're not talking to the British. You're talking to us, the Gambian.
I am in England.
Okay, but you're not talking to British. You're talking to Gambian. I want you to speak into Gambian terms so we can fully understand, please.
So nomenclature just simply refers to the term or the terms that you can refer or apply to something. Okay? So what I was trying to say is, regardless of how you try to paint it, whether you say it's a prosecutor official, it's a public prosecutor, it's a court prosecutor, the fact is prosecutors do not advise in any criminal justice system, regardless of the French justice system or the English justice system, regardless it's in Senegal or regardless it's in the Gambia, they do not advise judges.
Okay, léegi ma laaj la foofu question.
What? What the prosecutors can do, the prosecutors would look at the evidences. They would present whatever evidence it is to the judge. But the prosecutor and the bench don't go together. The bench is part of the judges, and the prosecutors are not part of the bench. So you would never, it's unheard of. In fact, I had to call his name, I'm sure you might know him. He's a big lawyer in Senegal. What's his last name again? His how do they call it? It's not avocat. The avocat is the French word for barrister, but they call him Benoit. They call him Benoit, and he's been practicing in the Senegal jurisprudence for over 40 years. And I was a bit confused, and I said to him, I've never heard of this. I said, I've done all my research. I said, how can a prosecutor advise a judge? And he said to me, that is unheard of. He said, it is unheard of. He said, the prosecutor would present the evidences. The prosecutor would say the weight of the evidences in the court, but it is left for the judges. You cannot go and advise the judges in court. So that is unheard of. So whether it is called a court prosecutor or it is called a public prosecutor, these are all nomenclatures that you could use. But the fact remains that a prosecutor is a prosecutor and the judges are the judges and they are part of the bench.
Okay, Mel, let me ask you a question. Kon man Cheikh Ahmed Cissé, man, su ma demee ci court, ma jugee ko ci court bi, ma laajte ma ne, ma binda ma ne, man Cheikh Ahmed, prosecutor bi dafa wax judge bi ne, lii ak lii suñ nangam, kon man su ma waxee loolu damaa fen waxuma dégg, loolu amut, munta am.
Say that again. You say it in English. I don't understand what you're saying. You're talking too fast in Wolof. Go back again slowly.
Okay. What I am trying to say here is, what if I attend a court case? After the court case, I said, the prosecutor stated that there was no evidence to prove a case. He further stated that there was nothing in the file that could incriminate Mr. X. He also emphasized that it was not the court's responsibility to obtain evidence from Mr. X's phone, but rather the responsibility of the complainant to present evidence. However, the prosecutor said due to fresh charges brought forward by Mr. X to Mrs. X will not be granted bail today. The preceding president of the panel of 3 has adjourned the case. Can that be true? Or is a lie? I say that.
As far as I'm concerned, it makes absolutely no legal sense. It is devoid of logic. It makes no sense whatsoever. Now, obviously, it is common. It is tried judicial principle and law, and everybody knows that. In fact, you don't have to be a lawyer to know that. It is common sense. The court cannot fish out for evidence. No court does that. So that is just simple logic. Now, it is not for Mr. Thiam to produce the evidence. It is for the prosecution, however they call it, whether they call it public prosecutor, they call it prosecutor official or whatever. But it is the prosecutors who have to lay down their case in a court of law to show that whoever the accused person is either guilty of the offenses and the evidences are there to prove that this person is guilty of the alleged offense. So obviously, it is common sense. The court would not go out and look for evidence. The court would not do that. But if an application is made to the court, okay, that because from all indicators is that the phone of Aisha is already in the possession of the police. Now, if the police are saying that she has to open her phone, that is for the court to make a ruling on that. So what is confusing for me is that from the last report that we got from what happened in courts in Dakar, they said that the matter was adjourned because the court had said that Aisha would have to open his phone and then they would have to request the phone of Mr. Thiam and he would also have to open his phone. So these were the applications that was made, albeit orally, before the court. Because what the prosecutor was doing in that regard was to ask the court to make an order that Aisha opens her phone, which from the reporting that came back, if it's anything to go by, I'm not in Dakar, but based on the reporting that came by, it was stated that the court had asked Aisha to open the phone, and Aisha had said that, yes, I will open my phone, but only to the court, or I wouldn't give the password to the court, but I will open the phone. That was where we left off. Now, we were also told that that the prosecutor had said that, the court had said that Thiam should appear in court, and if Thiam does not appear, the Thiam should be arrested and brought to court. Now, that is where we left off. So for me, what was reported today, in logically, does not flow from a case that was adjourned at that level. What we are seeing today is a totally different narration, radically different from where we left it at the court. Now, what we should be talking about today is, did Thiam appear in court?
No, he
Was
didn't.
Thiam arrested?
No, he wasn't.
Was the bench warrant arrested for Thiam?
No, he wasn't.
Was the application that Thiam should brought his own phone before the court? What was that? What was it that the court decided? When the application that was made before the courts for Aisha to open her phone, what happened with that? We don't know all of that. So you can tell that the reporting is rather, to my mind, to my opinion, I'm not there, and that is why I've been searching for a very unbiased and credible reporting that comes from the court so that you could make sense of it. So telling me that the court is saying that basically they are not going to look for evidence, that's common sense. A court never looks for evidence. The evidence is that what you brought before the court. The court cannot go on a fishing expedition looking for evidence. The second part is, which is very mind-boggling, and I wrote this on my post on Facebook, is to say that a prosecutor that is prosecuting crime, that has the purview to prosecute crime, that has brought an alleged accused person to court, would now tell the court that I have an empty file, there is no evidence in this file, and there is nothing in this case. That's stupidity. Because basically what that prosecutor
Mel, how did you call that?
I said it's stupidity.
Thank you. Continue.
Because what that prosecutor is doing is opening a legal avenue for the person to use the words of the prosecutor and sue the Senegalese authorities for frivolous charges that was leveled against the person. So I know, and it is unheard of, that any prosecutor would say that in court, even whereas the prosecutor has absolutely no evidence. What the prosecutor would do is either withdraw the charges, enter a nolle prosecute, which basically would say that they want to discontinue the case, come up with any sort of application that would say, okay, you know what, we do not wish to continue with this case, we want to abandon this case, we want to set Aisha free. But to come to court and say, you know what, I am prosecuting this case, and that there is no evidence, that's rubbish. That's absolute nonsense. I don't believe it. And regardless, I see people hiding behind the notion that the Senegalese legal system is different from the Gambian legal system. Yes, that is true. But there are certain things in law that are universal. Mm-hmm. The presumption of innocence is as sacrosanct in the Senegalese legal system as it is in the Gambian legal system. So that is my position.
Thank you, Mel. And Mangla Jigalo si numala ding. I can tell you something. 2,800 people are watching and everybody is happy. Chilling our, xam-xam bi.
You see, let me explain. Let me explain something. You see, and this is. I like to always put a disclaimer. This is my position. Is not about Aisha. It's not about Thiam. My position is about an honest, unbiased reporting of the factual happenings in the courtroom in Dakar. You see, if you want to be a journalist, you have to uphold the ethics of journalistic profession. You cannot be a journalist and be openly biased towards a cause. No matter how emotional you become, no matter how mentally you connect yourself to the case, you have to be able to have the attribute to demonstrate in front of your audience, in front of the public, that you are unbiased. That you're giving an accurate narration of factual events as they happen. You cannot be biased. You cannot be emotionally involved, because what would happen is anything you say, anything you write would be flawed, because it is viewed in the lens of an already biased person who's already taken sides. And this is what, in my writing, and this is why people sometimes don't understand me. So sometimes when I write and I criticize or I critique the UDP, people will say I'm NPP. When I critique the NPP, they will say I'm UDP, because my objective is unbiased. I look at the facts. I analyze the facts. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
And I make my opinion based on the facts and based on my own little knowledge that I understand. I don't have to take sides. If I want to take sides, I keep that to me. It is my personal stuff. But when I make pronouncements, public pronouncements, it has to be unbiased and it has to flow with logic.
Thank you.
You can't give a narration of a court. A court is not a classroom. It's not a Boy Scout thing. You have an adjournment. You gave a report a week ago, and you said the matter was adjourned for X, Y, and Z. Thiam has to appear in court. If he does not come, the court will issue a bench warrant. Tell us, was a bench warrant issued today?
No, it wasn't.
So these are the
And you don't ask me if Thiam was arrested today. The answer will be no, he wasn't.
Exactly. So then that tells you that if you are a person of you don't need to be too intelligent or smart, but just logic. And then what you need to do is weigh the reporting of last week, weigh the reporting of this week, and ask yourselves the questions. What happened to last week's reporting? You have been to court and you know how the court operates. The court starts from where it stops. It adjourns the sitting and it starts from there. What happened with all these things that we were told in court? All of a sudden, what we were given is just a narration that. So you want to tell me that after they adjourned the court, after the application for her to open the phone by the prosecutors, after her lawyers, we are told, asked that Thiam should surrender his phone. So we are told now that all those things were abandoned in court, and suddenly the prosecutors just got to court and start dancing and singing and saying there's no evidence, there's an empty file. Then, to be honest, it would mean that the Senegalese justice system is absolute rubbish.
You're right. Thank you, Mel. Oh, you mute. Mel, the phone is mute. I don't know if it is intentional.
No, I muted. I muted to listen to you because I didn't want to get a background noise to bother you.
No. It's fine. Yow li nga wara leer na Mel. I think we're gonna organize a big platform. One James. What's the name again? Kii dina ko lijjante xaaral. One James Manga. maa ngi ko wóor dama ko bëgg a xam because am na loo xam ne it's not about Thiam or Aisha, it's about lim nekk national interest. ñi xam wàllu yoon dañ ci war a wax, waaye du ku toog rek xam nga man tey am naa xel jàng naa dox na waaye mënumaa toog sa place because li nga jànguma ko. Waxtaan wax dëgg ca la. Yow Melvin yaa ngi fàttale ko years ago su ma daan firi alquran damaa ñëw ci yow di la laaj woot ci English yi dëgg la wala fenn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Absolutely true.
So da nga gis ne ba su ma waree firi alxuraan te yow ngay Christian xam-xam daf ma permit ma ñëw ba ci yow laaj la the words in English yow yaa ma ko ma dem wax ko si radio bi julliti jëriñu xam-xam nii la mel soo xamut laajteel ko xam nga indi ko xam moo tax suma waxtaan du dee neex a wéedi su laajee
you see the other part in the report that we saw on Kerfato is the fact that it is stated there that Aisha was denied bail because of another pending case. For me, that again, I hate when people hide behind mystery. So when you challenge the authenticity of whatever they say, then they tell you, oh, the Senegalese legal system is different. That's nonsense. It's the same criminal justice system everywhere in the world. So you are telling me that a person is in one matter, but on the basis of that matter before the court, she is not detained, but she is detained because of another matter.
Mm-hmm.
That has not yet is not yet before the court.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, even in the Senegalese justice system, if you look at the Senegalese constitution, the police have a legal right to detain a person for 48 hours. A public prosecutor or the chief prosecutor, like regardless of what name you call it, have the right to detain the person for another 92 hours or something like that, or 96 hours. And then, of course, you can make an application to the courts to detain the person for an infinite time. So the question again begins to come to mind as to what is the rationale of saying that with the prosecutor or the public prosecutor or whatever name you decide to call it, or who advised the judges, can say that the file is empty and everything, but she is not released. She is still in detention. And then to make it nice, to dress it in nice robe, to make it like salad and put tomato and cucumber and mayonnaise and eggs, you say, oh, she is detained because of the other case. What other case? That case is not yet before the court. Because it's not yet before the court. So why would the courts detain her for another case that is not yet before the court? Because what that narration was trying to do was to give the public the impression that this matter is already done and dusted. That is not why she's in court. She's in court. She's detained because of another matter. That's not accurate
at all. And
so,
Mel, the saddest thing about the report is some people who claim to be very intelligent believe it and share it with people that Aisha joxuñ ko bail because Thiam dafa asibenen charges, which means they are indirectly accusing the Senegalese judicial system that mun nañoo jàppa nit tëj ko si kaso because dafa am keneen ku ko tuumal te xamuñ dëgg la xamuñ du dëgg, which is not right.
That is exactly what it appears to be. It is exactly what it appears to be, because the picture that is being painted is that the person detained is detained on a frivolous charge. And that is why I said what I said earlier, that even where the prosecutors felt that there was not enough evidence, the prosecutor would not stand in an open court and say to the judges that there is no evidence in this case, the file is empty. No, the judges are not blind. The files are before the judges. The judges are going to adjudicate on the matter based on the evidences that the prosecutor puts before the court.
Mel dafa am suma benn jigéen, she's in England, mu ne after listening to you and reading Kek's post, moom dafa jàpp ne post Kek bi is an insult to people intelligent, and I agree with that.
Well, it is up to you or anyone to agree with whatever. I'm just giving my opinion on what I think and what I believe in. That is what I believe in. That is my opinion.
Yow maa ngi laa jégalu ma bàyyi la, and dina call James Manga soo amee nomam dimbale ma si xaw ma ko xam xaw ma ko. I want to connect to him. ñu organize a platform during the week. Man dinaa leen yónnee file si nga xam ne is from the court. Lawyer yi am si access, everybody comme neex nga jot ko, du secret. ngeen read ko ngeen xam ko den ñu waxtaan pour Gambie yëpp xam naka la court système bi di demee pour ëllëg ci biir ku fenati ñu xam ne da nga fen ku wax dëgg ñu xam ne da nga wax dëgg kuñ jaay doole ñu xam ne kii den ko jaay doole kuñ jaay doole ñu xam ne kii jaayuñ ko doole. I think that's gonna be a good idea.
Yeah, you see, the truth is, Chair, anybody can go to court. It doesn't mean because even whereas there are evidences, even if the evidences are overwhelming, yeah, it is the reason why the police don't just take you and they send you to jail because of the evidences that they get. It's because the rule of law has made it mandatory that whatever evidence it is, it has to be tested by the intelligence and foresight and skill and knowledge of the court. So you can have a vast majority of evidence that you think that, oh, this is the most implicating thing for Aisha. And the courts can still determine that, you know what, we don't believe that Aisha is guilty. We've seen it. You saw the O.J. Simpson trial in America.
Mm-hmm.
The court can decide, looking at everything else, and just taking one little thing and saying, you know what, she's not guilty, and they set her free. But the point I'm trying to make is, you don't have to ridicule the intelligence of people to propagate a particular agenda.
Of course.
Let the courts determine the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because a few weeks ago, I had people say that she was arrested arbitrarily, that they don't even believe in the Senegalese justice system. They don't believe in the courts because Thiam has bought the judges. But all of a sudden today, you're telling me yesterday that Thiam bought the judges and he's a very powerful man. But you're now telling me that the prosecutors are advising the judges to say that they should let the girl go. So where is the power of Thiam?
Mel, repeat that again, please.
This is how a person should weigh things. People should not just take whatever garbage is given to them. You weigh. You have common sense. You weigh things. You've said that the judges have already been bought. That is why they've continued to keep attention. That Thiam has already bought these people. That the case is a high-profile case. In fact, they are asking for the intervention of the Gambia government. That this man is so powerful. But then suddenly today, you're telling us that people are jubilating in court because the public prosecutor, who is part of the Senegalese authority, who's part of the Senegalese justice system, who's part of the Senegalese criminal system, who's part of the court order, you are telling us that they have advised, they have said so publicly in court that there's no case against the God. So now who do you believe? So who has bought the judges?
Mel, I'll announce to my fellows that on Wednesday, dama am a panel of 3 people ñu analyse Gambians waaye nag yow ci one condition danga wàññi sa doole English bi pare wax olof because sa English yi dafa métti trop yow yaa ngi ko explain noom ne maa ngi team Google loo wax ma Google.
I'm speaking normal English.
No, this is not normal English.
All your audience is understanding.
No, this is not normal English. This is high profile English. Even Lady F in UK is struggling to understand your English.
All right, keep mocking, keep making fun. It's all good.
maa ngi laa gërëm di la sant and sorry for the late night call. It's just that nit yi den amoon interest pour dégga. On Wednesday dinaa jéem a lijjanti James Manga ak Wan Amina in UK ñu dajee ñu waxtaan pour Gambien yi xam ba ëllëg ku duulati ñu xam ne da nga duul ku fen ñu xam ne da nga fen waaye ku wax dëgg ñu xam ne da nga wax dëgg.
No problem at all.
Okay, ndax am nga looy tàggatoo Mel bala ngaa dem.
No, for me, it's that I think people should understand one thing, and that is the justice system should be allowed to take its course. Now, you can take a position, you can take sides. Everybody has a right to take a side. But what you cannot do is to try to convince and force the public to shift to a particular dimension. People should be allowed. Present the facts as honest and as truthful as it is. And allow people to make their own judgment Because when you try to force a particular narration, you try to force people to jump ship and be in your camp and take a particular position, then it doesn't make sense. And you know what I've realized? The average Gambian is not honest. If the coin was the other way around, these are the same people that would be telling you, let's allow the courts to make a decision. Let's allow justice to take its course. So when it favors them, the justice delivery system should take its course. When it doesn't favor them, they feel that they have to go out and cause a public outcry to force and or determine the courts to adjudicate in a particular matter. No, it cannot work like that. It cannot work like that. Even where the courts are biased, you have the right to appeal.
Of course.
You have the right to appeal. If you're dissatisfied, you have the right to appeal to the court. If you're dissatisfied with the court of appeal, you have a right to go to the Supreme Court. Even where the Supreme Court ruling you're dissatisfied, you can ask the Supreme Court for a review. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't end there.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you. And thank you 10,000 times.
All right, take it.
Aduna nii la yaa mun a wax rek bu mu tax nga wax loo xamut man jànguma loo moo tax ma andi ku jàngaloo pour moom mu ñëw explain lim jàng waaye Melvin V bi mu jàngee ba pare dafa oo ñaari lawyer kenn ku practice 40 years mu laaj ko ay diyaam wax yu bari yu ñu waxoon amut te mënut a am kon wax bi leer na Melvin, thank you so much. We are so proud of you. Beneen bi mooy tey dem neen ci court bi xam ngeen court bi kañ la jeex 9 o'clock ci suba la waroon a jeex xam nga lu tax mu late den ñëw because lawyer Aisha Fatty amuñ luñ war a wax amuñ luñ teg ci kanami askan bi ñuy bele di rëy wax rek ba jaay fa ji ko xamadi ñu foga taabul ak seen mbir mi di aate ñeneen ñu bàyyi leen ba ngoon Frank Gradeli den ko dee aate ba 3 o'clock ci guddi ñi nekk Sénégal xam nañ li ma wax léegi biñ ñëwee Aisha Fatty nangu naa joxe mobile am bi ak everything lim doon bañ ci police bi bañ ko si bu njëkk bi joxe na mobile am bi léegi mobile bi jooj du ko xool prosecutor du ko xool moom laa leen waxoon suma last live bi before Friday ma ne leen ne ñaari different corps body ñoo ko xool in Sénégal ku nekk indi sa rapport léegi li des ci keesi Aisha Fatty bi wax neen lu ñoo wax yëpp léegi jooji si ñoo ko xool prosecutor amatu ci yoon lawyer yoonam nekkatu ci prosecutor yi ñooy xool nga suñ jotee rapport bi ba pare tey ci maa ngi leen a wax ne tey ci court bi maa ngi defy everybody kuy support Aisha teg neen audio Aisha bi ma tegoon ñu ne du Aisha ñu laaj Aisha si court bi mu ne moom la man gisuma keeks bindali gisuma kenn bind ko waxuñ ci maa ngi leen a xamal ne voice Aisha bi mu doon traité Thiam naan boobu noonu boobu yéen a ngi fàttaliku voice boobu ma tegaloon leen tegal neen ko Aisha tey ci court bi mu nangu ne loolu voice am la te loolu am solo ci court bi la dañ ko teg ci speaker bi ñëpp di dégg ñu dóor ko mu nangu ne moom la gisuma ko wax loolu te su fekkee damaa fen ñu demoon ci court bi neen wax ne pléwuñ voice Aisha léegi kon ñu ngi wax ne amuñ évidence Khadija bu Sonko yaa gën a ñeme yàlla ñu ngi làkk anglais nga naan moo la tooñ wax na dëgg man dama tiit dama toog fi suma yaram bi di daw yow mi ma bindal she never said before it wasn't her demal ci PV bi nga riit li Aisha def li Aisha wax police yéen xamu leen bu leen dee support ci kaw gumbo da ngeen a support ubbi seen bëti police biñ ko jàppee lim sign ak lawyer bu tudda Baboucarr Cissé Aisha daf ne Facebook rek la am ak WhatsApp dafa weddi Snapchat te picture si ak vidéo si ñu ngi Snapchat mu ne moom xamut Aziz defut voice status yi moomut ko waaye picture yaayam la nomba bi moomu ko ñaari nomba la am de leen déglu su nit yi deewoo bu leen dee nekk di support rek di yuuxu nii firi Aisha nangam da ngeen a support ak xel bu dal man su ma ñëwee yëpp ay leer Aisha ci boppam tegal neen ko audio bi ci court bi mu accept ne moom la audio bi was fully threatened te ma wax leen ne Meta ñoo moom WhatsApp moo gën a garaaw normal call gis nga even sa status boo after 24 hours du daf dee dem am na feneen fu mu dee toog ci Meta ñoom den koo am they sign with governments around the world Sénégal ci leen bokk moo tax soo leen fàttale ko during election danga daan bokk groupe WhatsApp Pastef ñu ñoo jàppale sa kër nga ne lu ma def ci groupe WhatsApp bi leen la jàppee léegi téléphone Aisha bi dégg leen bu baax li ma wax vidéo bi status yu mu bindoon mu wéedu ko te ñu screenshot ko ma tegal leen ko mu ne du moom ñu ne ko picture bi ne mu ne suma picture yàlla waaye du moom and that is true ku nekk mën naa def picture ku nekk léegi nag téléphone bi suñ ci amee access status bu mu mus a def dafa génn ku mus a seen vidéo bi dafa génn te the origin of the video dafa génnee fan la ak kan la daf koo génnee and a proof to what I am saying ci yéen ñi jàngul xamu leen lu bari am na yenn WhatsApp yu xewoon GB WhatsApp dangaa yónnee message nga delete ba pare message bi du delete ci kooko set WhatsApp yu amoon na GB WhatsApp la tuddoon dangaa def status nga delete ko ku am GB WhatsApp dafa mën a gis WhatsApp boobu still te yow delete nga ko